Hey, how's it going, everybody? Maybe here. So last night we had some technical issues. When I say some, I mean pretty much the entire stream was muted. So I'm gonna be doing some audio tests and just technical configurations just to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So right off the bat, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my channel on my phone and take a look and see if my mic is working. And it looks like it is, so cool. So we got that. So the next thing that ended up happening was after I had done an intermission, I had clicked to mute myself just out of courtesy so that people didn't have to hear the hustle and bustle of my house. But I came back and I unclicked the mute icon and verified that it wasn't red. It didn't have the line going through it. And I was even speaking in relation to it, where I was like, haha, I hope I'm not muted anymore. And double checked and saw that there was no red mute icon. And then only to find out later that I had in fact still been muted. So I don't know if that was like user error or if there was just a glitch in the matrix. I'm not entirely sure. But we're gonna go ahead and click that mute button, and then we're gonna come back and test to see if the mute button remains muted after unclicking it. So going on mute in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I was muted just now, and now I'm going to verify that after unclicking the mute button that it works, and it looks like it does. Alright, so cool. So we've got that issue somewhat resolved. The other things that I need to figure out is how to get it so that it defaults automatically to the capture card. Because for whatever reason, when I start up the XSplit Gamecaster, it doesn't automatically just start broadcasting off of that. I have to manually go in there and do it, and I also have to manually apply my microphone every single time I start streaming. Well, that's not the worst thing in the world to happen. It certainly is a little bit of a pain in the butt. So figuring out how to get that set to a default is going to help us out tremendously. But it's just a matter of navigating this program, and I'm still pretty new at it. So things might get a little wonky here and there. But I'll be doing quality checks as we go along just to ensure that nothing stops doing things that it's supposed to be doing, essentially. Let's see. Click here to configure USB video. Okay. It doesn't look like there's any way to set it to just automatically default to that. I might just be stuck having to manually do it every time, which isn't the worst. So if you did happen to tune in last night, or if you didn't, a quick recap, we were working on breeding some perfect Gastlys, and we were successful. I got really lucky and got 3 perfect Gastlys right from the start, which included 6 perfect IVs, 4 egg moves that I bred onto it, within a dusk ball because I wanted it to have that theme, and with a timid nature. So that was pretty cool. In addition to which, got really lucky and just so happened to hatch a shiny at the same time. And that's where the disappointment kind of lies in, because I was muted the entire time, so my excitement was completely missed, which is unfortunate. But it's a learning process. and that's okay. We've got it solved now, and I'm a little bit wiser, so I know to double check my audio quality just periodically and make sure that it's not pooping the bed. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and breed 30 more Gastlys, because all these Gastlys are guaranteed to have 5 IVs that are perfect at a minimum, and they're all going to come with their egg moves. And because I put an Everstone on it, they're all going to have the nature that I want. So these Gastlys that I end up breeding, I'll end up giving away on Reddit, just as like a little celebration for Spooktober. And I'm going to continue this theme throughout the entire month of October, where I'm going to breed all of the spooky Pokemon that we can. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm thinking for the next one, I'm either going to do Litwick or Pumpkaboo. I haven't 100% decided yet. But I'm just going to verify that Gastly's in here. Yeah, it is. Okay. So that Gastly that's in there, that's one of the 3 perfect Gastlys that I had bred last night. And we're just gonna pick up some eggs. Oh, the other bit that was a little upsetting about last night was I was pretty much doing this massive tutorial on how I was going about breeding these guys and the steps that it took to get the things that we wanted, and all of that's missed. But it's just another opportunity to have subject material for the next time that I work on breeding a specific species of Pokemon. Ooh. So there is a little bit of a frame rate issue, obviously, and we're also dealing with like a $25 capture card, because I figured maybe don't dump a bunch of money into this until we determine if it's going to be a long-term thing. And I'm enjoying it so far, so there's a good chance that eventually I am going to pick up a better capture card so that it's not as laggy. But for now, we're just going to deal with it. I figured 20 bucks is it's a pretty cheap investment into something that I already enjoy. I've been playing Pokemon since Red and Blue came out in the United States, so it's not like this is a difficult investment. I mean, I'm playing Pokemon every day anyways. I might as well stream it, and maybe I can make some connections, hang out with some cool folks, and just listen to some chill music while I do it. I should probably double check to see how many eggs I've gotten so far. It's definitely not 30, but I should probably just keep track. So let's see. Yeah, nowhere near. We're at like 5. Let's just keep going. Yeah, I was trying to breed these 30 Gastlys for the giveaway last night, post-stream, and at that point I was just exhausted, and I had put the Gastly in there to breed and got my 30 eggs, and I was like, alright, let's go ahead and hatch these bad boys, only to realize after the first batch hatched that I had forgotten to put the Everstone onto the Gastly, so all their natures were just all over the place. They weren't timid, so I just kind of said to heck with it and just went to bed. So we're making up a little bit for the mistake that I made last night. I made a lot of mistakes last night, but that's to be expected, right? Because I'm brand new. In all definitions, this is only my 3rd stream. The first one was just a test to see if I got the software up and running. The one last night was to do my first breeding project. And so yeah, I'm not very deep into it, but I'd like to make this a regular thing. Now, it's unusual that I'm streaming during the morning, but my wife took my youngest kiddo out for a walk, and the other two kids are content just playing for a little bit, so I figured I'd use the opportunity this morning to kind of troubleshoot some things. But pretty typically, I'm going to be on nights, like 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do not go in there, gosh darn it. 8 p.m. Like Monday through Thursday, and like 10 p.m. on Fridays, because we do Friday Fright Night in our house. So we always pick a scary movie, whether it's a classic film that we've seen or never seen, or if it's a more modern one. We've seen a ton of really good films, and I say this with a grain of salt because I've picked some terrible ones. Like the Resident Evil series was not good. But we watched American Werewolf in London last night, and I forgot that I had watched that when I was a kid, because I guess it just scared the pants out of me. Because as soon as I saw Jack coming into the scene, and he was undead, and that makeup effect, the practical effect that they achieved with the body horror was just immaculate. It was beautiful. And it got this visceral reaction out of me, and suddenly I remembered that I had seen the film before, and it was terrifying. But we've watched a couple really good ones. One of the first ones we did was The Shining. I had never seen it. I was raised in a pretty sheltered home where no scary movies were allowed type thing. So viewing it as an adult, I think I had a totally different appreciation for it than some of my friends who have seen it in the past when they were kids. So it's been fun, but it inspired me. I guess where I'm going with this is our Friday Fright Nights inspired me to do this Spooktober themed breeding project. And so that's where we got the Gastly from. And next I'm going to be working on like Pumpkaboo or Litwick. And we're just going to keep the theme going for the entire month. And I'll be doing giveaways every time I'm finished with a species project. Species projects usually includes like, I need a living dex worth of Pokemon. So that means I want 3 perfect Gastlys. One of them will evolve into a Haunter, one of them will evolve into a Gengar. And I'll always try to breed some egg moves onto them and ensure that they have the right natures and the right abilities. But the abilities is also part of the process as well. So, if it's got 3 abilities, 2 of which are normal, 1 of which is hidden, I want 3 versions of that Pokemon. If it doesn't have 3 stages, then we'll end up with a double for the living dex. So a good example. What would be a good example? An example of a weird one that I was working on was my Jigglypuff project, where I wanted a living dex of perfect Jigglypuffs. That includes an Igglybuff, which is its baby form, a Jigglypuff, and a Wigglytuff, right? However, breeding any species line that has a baby form is automatically a little bit more difficult. Before I continue that, I do want to do a quick audio check and just make sure, because I'm paranoid. Let's see. We're going to check this real quick. Alright, cool. Audio's still good. But because it has a baby form, baby forms can't breed for obvious reasons. So you have to go down to the little tent that's at the bottom of this hill, and you got to play with it until it evolves into its base stage, and then you can breed it. But with the Jigglypuff line, I needed a Wigglytuff with its hidden ability, a Jigglypuff with its normal ability, and then another Jigglypuff with its normal ability. That way I had like a catalog of abilities / Pokemon that I can breed at any given notice. And then just an Igglybuff with anything. It doesn't matter what ability it has. It's just there solely for living dex purposes. So yeah, it's pretty fun. I've gotten a little bit. I'm not tremendously far in creating this competitive living dex. My living dex itself is almost complete. I'm only missing a couple legendaries. And like a random Pokemon here and there. So I'm excited to get that done. And when Crown Tundra releases, it'll be a lot easier because they're bringing every single legendary that's ever been introduced into the max raid dens. So that's going to be pretty cool. But as soon as I'm able to, what I want to start doing is competitively breeding professionally. I think it'd be cool to be able to offer services to, you know, competitive Pokemon players that play in, you know, legitimate tournaments, and them, you know, come to me someday and ask, hey, I'd really like, you know, this competitive Pokemon with this nature and this ability, and maybe in this Pokeball, because the Pokeball aesthetics is a thing, and be able to offer my services. And maybe someday, you know, a competitive Pokemon player is going to win a tournament with a Pokemon that I bred for them and have that seal of approval. I think that'd be pretty cool. Check and see how many eggs we got after this. So I'll just bulk hatch these once I get a box of 30, just to make it a little bit easier in the whole process. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more. That's 1. Oh gosh darn it. This latency. It's gonna be the death of me. That was 2, right? So we got 7 more. Ugh. Jeez. There is a little bit of a predictive component to this because of the latency and the lag as a result of the capture card. So I'm kind of having to guess where I'm going to go before I get there. So that's a little bit of a pain. But you get what you paid for. Maybe this won't be an issue a year from now. I think that was 3. I lost track. We're just gonna do a quick double check. Okay, so I need 4 more, or 5 more, excuse me. Then we'll go ahead and hatch these, and if anything really stands out, that'll be cool, but I'm not anticipating that anything will. We might get lucky and get a 6 IV, which maybe I'll hold like a contest for somebody to win that, or I'll just offer it as a trade. Good grief. 3 more. Whoops. Yeah, I definitely don't like using the bike boost while I'm streaming. I thought moving my character was unpredictable before. It's even worse when it's going Mach 10. That's 2. We need 1 more. Alright. No. I think that's the last one, and then we'll start hatching them. Now, every single one of these eggs is going to come with a minimum of 5 perfect IVs. And there is a 1.09%-ish chance that they'll have 6 perfect IVs. And while we're not necessarily looking for a 6 IV Gastly right now, it'd be cool if we got another one. Oh, stop it. Let's get to hatching. Alright, so now we got the first batch hatching. While we're doing a hatch, I'm going to go ahead and do another audio check. Not what I wanted. Let's see if it's working. Yep, it is. Cool. Any more? Yeah, we got more. Man, I was so excited when that egg hatched last night, and it turned out to be shiny. I think that the shiny variation of Gastly looks tremendously better than the shiny variation of Gengar. At least you can tell that there's a color palette difference, because the vapor or gas that's around Gastly's head is like a blue color, or maybe it was a lighter purple. I'd have to take a look. But with Gengar, it's like they just dipped it 1 degree of a darker shade of purple, and you can't even tell. So I am curious. Let's see. This has 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. So yeah, all of them have 5 perfect IVs, and they all have the nature that we want. The Gastly line only has 1 ability, so that made breeding it a lot easier. I didn't have to worry about hidden abilities. I didn't have to worry about creating a living dex for different abilities. It was pretty cut and dry. So it's no surprise that I was able to finish breeding these Gastlys within 1 night. It was pretty simple. The next ones, the ones that follow, are not going to be as simple. I was taking a look at them, and they all have hidden abilities, or 3 abilities, or there's just a little bit more to it this time around. But thankfully, there's no like baby ghost type Pokemon that I have to deal with. That would be a monumental pain in the butt. Next batch hatching up. Yeah. Stretch. Okay, let's check this batch. And we want to go ahead and see what the IVs on this group is. So 5, 5, 5, 5. Hey, we got a 6 IV. That's pretty cool. So I can put that to good use, either as trade bait or, as a contest. And I can really sweeten the deal if I go ahead and EV train it, evolve it, and give it the Gigantamax soup that's released with the Isle of Armor expansion. Because having a Gigantamax form of Gengar is pretty cool. It's already in the Ubers tier on the competitive field. And it's pretty much always been in the Ubers category. So it's been competitively viable since like day one. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and set that off to the side, and it's gonna be somebody's favorite Pokemon partner, hopefully. The really cool thing about that Gastly that I just got is that 2%, right? So every single egg that you hatch, when you're in a perfect scenario like this one, it has a less than 2% chance of having the perfect conditions for you. And that's ridiculously small. Now, it's not necessarily as small as like breeding a shiny, right? Because that's 1 in like 8,000 before manipulating the probabilities with, a foreign ditto and a shiny charm, things like that. But 2% is extremely small. And so to get another 6 IV Gastly after I've already gotten 3 last night, that's pretty freaking cool. I know it might not necessarily come off as me being just pooping my pants excited, but that's because I'm a little bit more used to hatching these guys. I've been doing it for a long time. So if it comes off as though I'm like, oh, another 6 IV, it's not that I'm not excited about it. It's that I've manipulated the odds so much that it works in my favor a little bit. Not a lot, but 2% is the best odds I've had since forever. If you look back to the breeding scene for Pokemon, it used to be just ridiculously challenging to breed Pokemon. I mean, you could obviously just breed a Pokemon and get the one you wanted if you wanted to get a baby form for your living dex, or, just for the sake of learning how to breed, just throwing 2 Pokemon in there that were compatible was enough to suffice. But competitively breeding, I mean, I was doing a run through of Leaf Green to try to get that archive established, and good lord, what a grind! Like, they don't have outer world abilities, so things like Flame Body doesn't exist in Fire Red and Leaf Green, because they also got rid of the clock functionality. So any overworld abilities like Static or Flame Body or things of that nature, they didn't exist in that generation. So you had to wait the entire duration of an egg hatch to get these guys. In addition to that, I don't think they had a judge feature in the 3rd generation games. In the 3rd generation remakes, yes, they did. But you were going in blind. You needed to rely on websites like Cerebi that had a built-in calculator, and it wasn't always 100% accurate, right? So from where we used to be to where we are now is worlds different as far as breeding competitively. So let's take a look. So we got 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. All right, cool. So all these guys are going to go back in the box. Oop, oop. And I will have to backtrack and grab one more egg at the very least to replace that that one Gastly that had the 6 perfect IVs. actually. I know for a fact that daycare lady's going to have an egg for me when we're done with this. So if we don't get any other 6IV Gastlys as a result of this bulk hatch, I can just grab that one, fill the ranks back up for the giveaway. While we're doing this, gonna do one more audio quality check. Man, I'll never let that happen to me again. Staying muted the whole darn time. That was disappointing. And it was such a good stream too. Well, good to me, right? It's not like I'm netting in millions of viewers or anything like that, so the witness count wasn't exactly high for it. But still, having a video, having a first video with the awesome things that had happened that I could like upload to a YouTube channel would have been super cool. I'll still upload it, and it's going to be purely for verification purposes that I did in fact legitimately hatch that shiny Gastly. But the audio, it's useless because it's non-existent. You can certainly hear the music that I've got playing in the background, and you can hear the sound effects from the game itself, but as far as my commentary on everything, I think there's maybe like 10 minutes of that grand total.
Very much alike. Remember all the happy times we had.
Alright, so that batch is hatched. Let's take a look.
Very much alike.
5. We got another one? Alright. So I've gotten 2 perfect Gastlys today,
I'll tell you the truth.
and I wasn't even looking for them. That's why I'm getting them. The odds of this happening within one session, it's so small, right? Obviously, like every egg is a less than 2% chance, but holy crap! So now I have 5 grand total, and I haven't even looked at the other ones that I just hatched. So let's take a look real quick. So that one has 5. That one has 5. 5. Okay. So we've gotten 2 now that I can offer to other players, and I'm happy to offer them, right? These 2 Gastlys in particular, they're not doing me any good. So I'd much rather find another player that likes Gastly or likes competitive Pokemon and trade it to them. And that's exactly what I'll end up doing eventually. Maybe what I'll do is I'll ask for another ghost type Pokemon with like a special ball or something like that. If you're not aware, there's specialty Pokeballs that you can use that are harder to get, but they're unique in their design and their functionality. So, say for example, I wanted a Litwick and a Moon Ball, because that's kind of a popular pairing that a lot of people do. I think you only get 1 or 2 Moon Balls in the game, like organically. The rest of them have to be either farmed on the Isle of Armor, and that's random number generator business. It's not guaranteed what you're going to get. Or Pokemon Co. has to distribute them, or you got to trade other players for them, right? You could ask to trade for the ball specifically, or, you know, ask them to breed, you know, the Litwick that they have that has the Moon Ball, so that you can have one as well. But I like the Pokeball aesthetics. It's a cool feature that I hadn't considered until this generation, actually. Because at the time, I was just like, yeah, I'll just use whatever Pokeball is going to make catching things the easiest. And typically, I mean, outside of the obvious Master Ball that has a 100% catch rate, Usually that would default to dusk balls because typically I'm playing at night. So with a dusk ball, if you're in a cave or if it's nighttime, the odds of you catching a Pokemon is significantly higher. And I'm pretty sure that's significantly higher than any other Pokeball, regardless of the matchup, like the Moon Ball with a Pokemon that evolves with a Moonstone. I'd have to verify that, so don't quote me on it. But, so yeah, I typically just dusk ball the heck out of everything. But now that I'm actually taking a closer look at it, the aesthetics of having a Pokemon in the Pokeball that you want is actually kind of cool. So I'm shifting my breeding tactics to always include that. And I'll always try to include 4 egg moves in addition to, you know, the specialty Pokeball, because I think that's a unique feature. And sometimes it's a big pain in the butt to get egg moves onto the Pokemon that you want. So with this Gastly last night, I had to breed a Gastly, a female Gastly, with a male Yamask in order to pass down 3 egg moves, which was Disable, Astonish, and Grudge, and then take that child, which had to be female, because female passes the species line down, right, and males pass the moves down. So I had to then breed that female child with a male Weezing that had Clear Smog in order to give it that egg move. So not the hardest chain that I've ever had to do, but there's been breeding projects that I've done where I had to breed with 4 separate Pokemon just to get 4 separate egg moves. And it took a little bit longer. It was a big pain in the butt. Alright, so let's check this batch. So we got 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. Alright. So you put all these back in the box. And maybe you're wondering, well, May, why don't you just give the 6 IV ones away in the same giveaway? If I did that, it would feel unfair to only have 2 6 IVs and everybody else gets 5 IVs. So I like to keep it a little bit fair that way. And it also makes it so that I can do things like contests, right, for the 6 IV ones, or I can use it as trade leverage to get the Pokemon that I need, right, because I'm trying to accomplish a goal as well. But, I mean, breeding a 5 IV Pokemon to get a 6th IV, that's worlds easier than trying to breed, you know, a Pokemon with 0 perfect IVs. So it's a massive leg up. Let's see what this batch does. audio check. Double check, make sure. Okay, we're good. You know, eventually I won't be as paranoid, and the day that that happens, I'm gonna end up muted for the entire stream. Alright, so this is tentatively the last, like, 5 batch. We gotta hatch 2 more after this, so. We got 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. Okay, so we just gotta grab 2 more eggs, and then we'll be good to go. So we'll go ahead and grab those. That's 1. I'll grab 1 more, and then we'll pull that Gastly out. I don't want any more eggs after that. Give me the egg. Yes. Alright, let's pull that Gastly out. And we should be all set. The only hiccup that might occur is if I happen to get another 6 IV or a shiny out of one of these 2 eggs, in which case, okay. Clearly I would have to be doing, I must be doing something right in the Pokemon, you know, karma pool, because I've gotten exceptionally lucky with this breeding project for Gastly. Oops. We're gonna go and pick that up. We're gonna put that up by Jigglypuff because I'm gonna keep this Gastly. And the other 2 down at the bottom are the 2 perfects that we hatched today. Let's go ahead and hatch these 2 eggs real quick. This is 1 and 2 for the last batch. Go ahead and hatch the last one now. I'm not even going to look at it yet. I'm just going to wait. I know it's not shiny, so we're already in the right direction as far as finishing this project. Not that I would complain if I did get a shiny, don't get me wrong. Alright, cool. So I know I don't have to breed 1 more simply because of getting a shiny. That's not an issue. Let's just check their stats real quick. Five. Awesome. Okay. Let's put these things back with the rest of them. Put that there. And that's it. We're pretty much done with Gastly for a while. The only things that I have left to do with them is the 3 perfect Gastlys that I bred last night. I'll EV train them, and I'll evolve them so that I have a Gengar, a Haunter, and a Gastly. And then I have to feed that Gengar the Gigantamax soup so that it has its Gigantamax form when I play with it. If I play with it. I don't know if I ever will. Because like I said, I just enjoy competitively breeding. But overall, this Gastly project has been a monumental success. I've managed to somehow breed 5 perfect Gastlys with 6 perfect IVs, the nature that I wanted, and in a Dusk Ball. And I also happen to get a shiny in the process of doing it. And I know you can't see it on here because I already transferred it to Pokemon Home, but it's on the last video if you're willing to deal with no audio. But this has been a ton of fun. I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next project. What I'm going to do with these 30 Gastlys that I have now is I'm going to hop onto Reddit and onto the subreddit Pokemon Trades. I'm going to put up a giveaway for it. I'll probably do that in about 2 hours, so at noon Pacific time, I'll start that, and I'll just do from noon to 2 p.m. Anybody who wants it, come get it. I'm not gonna pair it by gender. It's just I'm gonna start from the top left Gastly, and I'm gonna work my way down all the way to the bottom right Gastly, and what people get, they'll get. But it's gonna come with 4 egg moves, at least 5 perfect IVs, and a beneficial nature, as well as in a Dust Ball. So if you tuned in today, it's been fun. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you later.